Yeah, no, that shouldn't be too hard to add into one of the segments. I think that'll work great.
All right, great. Yeah, let's do it.
Babe, what is this?
That's my journal.
Why does it say I love Franz Wagner all over the pages?
These are my personal thoughts. Thank you.
I'm leaving you.
What? No, babe, I love you. Come back.
But are we still gonna do the show?
Welcome to Court Cousins. Two cousins sharing laughs and talking the team they love, the Orlando Magic. Let's get into it.
Welcome, everybody, to Court Cousins, episode 13. It is Friday, February 18th. We're recording this ahead of the Rising Stars Challenge happening tonight. Very pumped about that. My name is Kyle. I'm joined, as always, by my cousin, my co-host, Jason the Peach. We've got a great show for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to check in with each other on our Robin Lopez check-in. We'll scour the interwebs for your comments and posts about our beloved Orlando Magic in the social media roundup. Peach will tell us what he learned in this recent stretch of games. We'll recap our experience at the Lakeland Magic game recently. We'll play an all-star themed version of Fill in the Blank, and we'll finish it off with my favorite segment, Magic the Card Gathering. And we just want to take a moment before we get into our ROLO check-in to thank everyone who's been engaging with us. The positivity has been overwhelming, and just brush our shoulders off, not to brag, humble, but to do so. Number 35 ranked basketball podcast in the United Kingdom. I mean, we're on the up. We're pretty much
There's only 34 better.
Yeah. There's probably like 40 total, and then like one for each team, and then a few randos in there. So, but all joking aside, we really do appreciate everyone who's given their time and support to just watch the videos, comment. A lot of more people are commenting. It's great engaging with you, talking about the Magic. So, to thank everyone for that engagement, we wanted to do something special. Peach over there is rocking a nice Penny Hardaway jersey. I'm rocking a black pinstripe Lakeland Magic jersey. And when you combine those two, we are going to do a jersey giveaway of a classic black pinstripe Penny Hardaway jersey. And all you have to do to be entered in to win that is to subscribe to the channel, to like this video, and then comment on this video with your favorite Magic jersey of all time. Can't wait to see which Orlando Magic jersey you think is the best of all time. And now, Peach, how you doing, sir, on our Robin Lopez check-in?
First of all, I'm a little weirded out that you're going full name. You and Robin Lopez are on the full name today.
I went full name.
Not the ROLO check-in anymore.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, it's the Robin Lopez check-in now. Well, for me, I dug deep and I found one of Robin Lopez playing against the Boston Celtics, because for me right now, this will be my final show shooting here in Boston. I'll be moving to Bridgeport by the time we do our next show. I'll be either in the same house as you or 2 blocks away. Either way, I'm done in Boston. So the face of Rolo here, he's working hard. He's playing against Boston. I think I was known in my early years for being a Boston hater. It was always crazy that I even moved down here. I still really don't like Boston that much, but I've been here for about 5-6 years, all totaled. And I have a healthy respect. I think even though I dislike Boston, I think I can look at them at the end of a tough game and be like, put her there.
Yeah.
But it's over now.
Cordial.
Ready to move on to the next phase. That's for sure. What about you, sir? Your Robin Lopez check-in.
Okay. It's for the Rolo check-in. It was close, man. There was some rumors out there that Rolo might get moved, and I was sweating. I didn't know what we were going to do for our Rolo check-in if, heaven forbid, this majestic man was traded to another team. But thank goodness we have some Robin Lopez here to stay. I have a picture of Robin Lopez in a Washington Wizards uniform. He's mouth agape. He looks slightly bewildered, a little in shock, trying to get a rebound against Serge Ibaka. They've gotten into it in the past. And I've picked this bewildered looking Robin Lopez because that's kind of how I felt watching our team for the last 9 games. I was just kind of dumbfounded, awestruck, didn't really know what I was seeing after what was a really solid January and in the beginning of February. a team that, we talked about having a top 9 defense, and now we're a 27th ranked defense in the last 9 games. So I'm just kind of stunned right now, stumbling into the All-Star break, hoping that reset will come out on the other side and play some better basketball. So here's the hoping, Peach. Here's the hoping.
Indeed. It was definitely a tough start, and we'll get to it later in what I learned, but I didn't like what I learned. I'll tell you that.
Well, you always teach us people some amazing things, give us some insights, some laughs by your posts, tweets, twats, in our social media roundup. And today we've got some gems, a lot of news in the Magic community, and we just run down some of our favorites, things that made us laugh or things that we just thought were intriguing. The first post is from the official Orlando Magic. They've been killing it at the trade deadline. Some amazing cash consideration memes. And this one is the Bowl jersey next to a cash considerations jersey. And I guess, Peach, just what are your thoughts on this? The only trade that we made, I got a chuckle out of it. What are you thinking about cash considerations?
Well, my favorite part of this is actually the part that you didn't mention, where Andrew below asks source ? And then the Magic have to reply with us, the official Orlando Magic account, which just kind of means that like this guy must have seen this and still questioned it. Like the Orlando Magic wasn't a good enough source. So yeah, I think that's pretty funny right there. But I also appreciate them doing that with the $sign and the cash considerations. It's all good. I mean, yeah. Would you rock a $sign Magic jersey? I feel like I could see a place for it.
I mean, I would definitely a Cole Anthony one. He's money, baby. That would make a lot of sense. That'd be kind of fresh.
Look out.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah, not a lot happened at the trade deadline, and we thought there would be some movement. And so I like that the Magic media team is having some fun with that, going big on the cash considerations, memes and things. They had some hilarious gifs of like a bag of money superimposed over Shaq just dominating and dunking on fools. That was hilarious too. But another person that has really gone the extra mile, just like cash considerations, is our buddy Bo Outlaw's biggest fan on Twitter. He was also interviewed by Dante Markelle, a personal dream of mine in the Magic broadcast, for some recent ink that he got. He got the new Magic logo all over his forearm, and it says, "I am officially the biggest Orlando Magic fan of all time." Peace, are you getting any Magic ink anytime soon, buddy?
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this. I've been ramping up for a while, and I didn't even write any notes about this. That's how set I am to go.
Off the top.
First and foremost, I love this guy. He was a good interview. I like that he got this tattoo. That's first and foremost. So no matter what else I say, just know I love that he did this, and I'm for it. Second of all, I am so surprised nobody else has done this. Like, you can't tell me somebody else doesn't have a solid Magic tattoo somewhere. And how are they not also getting this much love? All right. Not going to stand a long time on that one. Number 3, he was offered courtside tickets for getting a tattoo of our beloved announcer, Mr. David Steele. And he says, thinking about it. And I'm kind of like, you should hop on that, son. Yeah. If I lived anywhere within Orlando's area, maybe even in Florida, I'd be all about that for some courtside seats. And number 4, I'm telling you right now, if this is what it takes to be considered one of the biggest Magic fans of all time, next year when we go to Florida, I'm getting me an Orlando Magic tattoo.
I'm getting me a Orlando Magic logo tramp stamp.
As long as we can rise to the top 10 of UK basketball podcasts. No. But seriously, I will very much consider getting this. I'm 99% already in. I think I'd go with the old school ball because I haven't been a fan since 9. But I don't think it's that ludicrous, although it's kind of big and it's in a weird spot on his arm. Yeah. No short sleeves for this guy at the job, I guess. But, I love it. I think it's great that it's been done. What are your thoughts? Is that vast?
I'm not. No, I do not have a diatribe to go on this tattoo here. I'm not an ink guy myself. I haven't yet thought of anything. I love art, but I haven't seen any art or felt anything that I want to put on the body here just yet. I did see some other fans coming out with some posts of their own Orlando Magic tattoos too, as if like hey, where's my courtside seat too? If this guy's
Sure.
getting hooked up, like I know there's enough seats in the arena right now, like hook it up for me too. And as they should. Orlando Magic, anyone that's getting Orlando Magic on their body should be in a seat right now. We need those fans. Absolutely. And J Redick knows that. We'll talk about that bastard in a little bit. All right, moving on to the next post. Just leaving my thoughts there. We have one from Franz Wagner, Magic City at KP20 Magic. He wrote, in hindsight, it's pretty crazy that WCJ or Bamba was even a conversation. And we had this conversation on one of our early episodes. I don't know if it was a public episode or not, but this was a debate that we were kind of going back and forth on. Wendell had gotten the contract. We were thinking, is that a good idea? Is it going to be Bamba? Who's going to come out on top? What if it's Bamba and we just gave Wendell a contract? I think those conversations are safely in the rear view mirror after Wendell just pulled down 5 double-doubles in the last 9 and has been averaging a double-double, some of those games in the 20-plus point range. That conversation is behind us, is it not, Pish?
It is. I mean, when I saw this, I kind of laughed and then immediately was like, yeah, because like you said, I remember talking about this a lot in the early going and was kind of like, man, I'm going to have to watch them both for a while to see it. But man, I feel like I knew that answer pretty early, probably November.
Yeah.
And now here we are in February. So to look back on it as earlier in the season is just kind of like, it's crazy.
Yeah, my Bamba frustrations have been well publicized. I don't need to dive any more into that. Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't know this begins our WCJ, our Wendell Carter Jr. mini segment here in the social media roundup. We've got a post from our buddies at 6 Man Show. Wendell's face is a magnet, and it's crazy that we've lasted this long not talking about this. I don't think I've ever seen an individual get swallowed upside the head, smacked inside the face as much in a basketball game as Wendell Carter Jr. It's really crazy. His goggles end up on the floor at least once, sometimes twice or 3 times a game. And we've kind of talked about it. I don't know what it is. Is he kind of like, this is the way he gathers, that he goes through people's arm swipe areas. It's crazy to see, but he's been poked in the eye so many times that he had to get the goggles. Now he's gotten the goggles and those things are on the ground, get cracked up, smacked up every single game, it seems. What's going on? I mean, I've been, in my 34 years, I've thankfully avoided any serious facial injuries or contact. And Wendell, a young, spry man, just seems to be getting beat about the face every game. What's going on, Pish?
I don't know, man, because I've played a lot of basketball, watched a lot of basketball. There are certain guys that tend to always step on people's ankles and they're turning an ankle, or guys always get scratched up on their arms or something like that. I've seen that happen to Franz a few times. But this is every game. The part of the issue is I think that these glasses, they protrude a little bit further off his face than a regular glasses. So I feel like any blow to anywhere in this region, any swipe at all, makes them go flying. So I feel like part of that is the construction of those goggles. And I think more guys get hit in the face than but they don't necessarily get hit in the eye. I like that he's taken the initiative to wear the glasses and get used to playing with them to protect himself. But man, I don't know what it is about it. But yeah, he definitely gets hit in the face more and more. We have to get the guys from Mythbusters on this one, because I do not know why he keeps getting hit in the face as much as he is. But at least the glasses are there. If they weren't, maybe he would have been out with another scratched cornea or something. And we don't want.
Oh man, I know. Those glasses too are part function, part style. He's got a few in the repertoire. Do you have a favorite? We saw the white ones last time.
I'm not a fan of the white ones, but
yeah, not a huge fan. I like the blues. Just stick with the blues.
I still want to see him in the Ho Grants.
I don't know why he hasn't gone all the way yet. I think maybe he wants to be his own man, blaze his own path, while still giving a little bit of an homage with the blue to the man.
Those look like they're a little bit open. They probably allow the air in. They probably don't fog up. I mean, he doesn't need them for prescription, so it's not like they need to be thick or super durable. So maybe that's part of the issue too. I don't know.
And we'll finish off our Wendell Carter Jr. Love Fest in the social media roundup with a post from our good friend Jay at Orlando Magic Player History. His Magic Player History mover of the night for the Hawks game is Wendell Carter Jr. in rebounds. He grabbed 10 boards tonight for his 25th double-double of the season, passing Maurice Harkless for 49th on the all-times rebound list. He's now, 49th. He's behind J Redick, that scumbag, who's at 48th. And of course, we have, the top tier is Dwight Howard leading the way with 8,072. Vooch was at 6,300. Shaq at 3,600. That's a big fall off from Dwight to Vooch, and then a huge one from Vooch to Shaq. So where do you think Wendell might end up? Do you think he's going to get into that top 10 there past Jameer Nelson with 2,000 piece? Do you think he can get into the top 10 or even higher?
I mean, I wish this was Court Cousins championship time and you were proposing.
I know.
Although that'd be a long-term bet, but I say he's in the top 10 easily as long as he stays with the Magic. I mean, that's a lot to put up in a short time that he's been with us. He's already in the top 50. I mean, I think he cracked that top 10 easily. He's already shown he's kind of becoming a double machine. So yeah, I think as long as he stays healthy and keeps playing, he's a young guy. He'll make that top 10 easy.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging the double-double, so over 10 rebounds a game this year, 82 games, over 800 rebounds a year. I'm an English teacher, but, 4-year contract, 3,200 3,200 rebounds? No. Is that right, Matt?
Either way, after
over the 4 years,
he's going to be in that top 10.
yeah. I mean, and even could be in that top 5. Could he pass Horace Grant if he's with us for the entire length of his 4-year contract? I think he's definitely going to get there.
If he gets a chance to beat Horace Grant's record and doesn't throw on the goggles for that game, that would be a big miss on his part.
That would be huge. We'd be outraged. So basketball action is done for the time being. I mean, we're going into the All-Star break with the skills challenge. I know everyone's pumped about that. And we have our last post about our win record from at the Ozone Pod, Orlando Magic HQ, and the guys over there. They do an awesome job. They posted, with Detroit's win tonight over the Celtics, the Magic will head to the All-Star break with the worst record in the league. The tank is in full effect, Peach. We're not tank drivers here. We're not tank pushers. We want to see wins. But, I mean, how do you feel that we're kind of in the dregs of the league right now, pulling up last place with the least wins in the NBA? How are you feeling at the All-Star breaker?
Well, I'm if I thought about it based on how I thought about how things would go at the beginning of the season, I'd say I'm a little disappointed. But honestly, with the way I've measured things as we've gone on, I'm not surprised. I feel like things have been better in the last month, I'd say, which is good to see. But I think we're all still kind of like waiting to see what the team will look like with Markelle and JI coming back, if they come back, and if that can make us better. Or I'm not a tank guy. I've never been a tank guy. Partially because I don't always feel like the number one pick is the best thing to have, especially if you're going to pick wrong. So as long as we're in the top 5 and have a good shot at the lotto, I feel like comfortable. So I just don't think it's necessary for us to tank, but I'm not surprised where we are. I think Detroit is starting to get a little bit better. I think Houston obviously got a little bit better. So it's, I think the bad teams are getting a little better because they're starting to gel, figure out what they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not shocked at all. Are you?
I mean, no, I took the under on 22.5 wins at the beginning of the season. So I'm definitely not shocked on the win total where we stand. I think it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. I'm not a tank enthusiast. I think the best thing for a young team is to learn how to win, because that's the most difficult thing to do in the NBA, to close out games when it gets ramped up in the third and fourth quarters and good teams really start to clamp it down. Learning how to push through those difficulties and get those wins, I think, is far more important than necessarily jockeying for the bottom of the league when you may not even get that number one pick. I mean, we just saw we had top 3 odds and we ended with the 5th pick. So I'm definitely not banking on the lottery. So I think it's best of both. We're doing some losing, but we're seeing growth in the young guys. I am a little disheartened, as I shared in my ROLO Check In. I'm a little dumbfounded with this stretch of last 9 games. I think that kind of put a little hitch in the trajectory. Maybe some of our younger guys hitting a little bit of a wall here. And I'm hoping that Franz, especially because he's played every single game, has some time to rest. Cole has a week now to get that ankle 100% better when he comes back. And hopefully we can see some wins. And as long as we finish in the bottom 5, which I don't think we're going to catch teams that, even teams like the Pelicans or the Kings right now in the West that have 22 and 23 wins, or, who are some of the other teams in the East here? The Pacers have 20 wins. We're still 7 games behind them. There's only 26 games after the All-Star break or something like that. Not a lot of games to make up. Pacers aren't going to lose all of their games, so I don't think we're going to move much from where we are. And so I think it's the best of both worlds. I'm just hoping to see some more wins, as praying to any deity that will listen. Hopefully Markelle Fultz come back and Jonathan Isaac come back, because the record aside, I just want to know what we have. I just want to know what's going on, get some semblance of what a rotation might look like. And I'm getting really worried that we're just going to carry this into the offseason with more speculation. And, of course, the insiders all know, the front office is watching the practices, but we don't know out here. So we're just going to speculate all summer. I guess it will give us good fodder for the pod, but we'll see what happens after the All-Star break.
Indeed.
So what happened before the All-Star break in this past 9 games? Not so great, as we've alluded to. I think 2 wins in those 9, wins that we should have had.
Usually segment, 2 wins out of 9 feels good, doesn't it?
It feels good, but it just doesn't. It doesn't this time. And Peach, I'm hoping you can give me some insights about what you learn in this segment of the show, just to give me something to hold on to maybe as I go here into the All-Star break, so I'm not quite as dumbfounded or awestruck. Help me, Peach.
All right. Well, we're going to do a little quicker format today because there are 9 games and we don't need to dwell on this run of games. But let's go ahead and talk about what was some of the good stuff early on. The first game of this was a 115-126 loss to the Bulls. The Bulls were at kind of full power-ish here, still missing ball, but they had Zach LaVine back in this one, and that was enough to kind of bump it over the top. But, we only lost by 11. We were in this game. Next game, they played the next night against the Pacers. They got the win 119-118. This was one of those games that you were talking about earlier where you want to see us play a close game and find a way to win at the end. And I saw a lot of good things in this game. And I saw a lot of good things in the first 3 or 4 games of this span, to be honest, where it was for a team that you were talking about the tank, don't tell these guys this, because they do not play like a team that is purposefully tanking. They play like a team that is trying to goddamn win games and giving it their all. And that's good because they're making teams work for what they get. So then the next game we played against the Memphis Grizzlies, a 115-135 loss. The Memphis Grizzlies are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. They're just good. I didn't realize how good they were. I learned a little bit about who their players were. I started to put some names to faces and stuff like that. And man, I saw a team that's gelling, playing good ball at a good time, and they kind of just ran us out of our own jam.
Yeah, no, they ran us around the globe. They were Magellan for sure. And I turned that one off at the beginning of the third quarter. After the Magic didn't come out and put toward some type of run, I was with the lady at her place. We were watching, and I was like, fuck it, let's go get tacos. I'm done. I can't right now. Sorry,
Tacos
I just needed
is a
to
good
answer
substitute
that.
for a Magic loss, though.
Yes, it did make me feel good. Ooh, yes, tacos al pastor, so delicious.
He went al pastor. All right. Well, I'm proud of you. All right, then it was a 83-116 loss to the Celtics, which is, I'll level with you. I didn't watch a lot of the fourth quarter of this one because this one was over. The Celtics came in and just completely outplayed us. 83 points is never going to be enough to win an NBA game. We weren't shooting well in this one. This one was kind of a hot mess. The 2 games, all the good vibes I had from the first 3 started to fade away in the Memphis and the Celtics game. At least with Memphis, I kind of realized that, this is a top team in the West for sure.
Yeah.
But with the Celtics, I'm like, I don't really see them as a top team in the East, but maybe they're starting to get back into
they are trending that way. Yep, they are.
And they showed it in this game for sure. Then we got our mojo back as we decided to go and play the Blazers, who were trying to figure out who was on their team and who wasn't, because it was right around the after the trade deadline. So they had some players moving. So they were a little shorthanded, but we took advantage with a 113-95 victory. You take them where you can get them. I feel like our team played well in this one, so it's not like we didn't deserve this victory. It was good to see Cole Anthony leading us in scoring with 23 points, and good to see him getting some of his rhythm back on offense. He's starting to get in the lane, starting to shoot the floaters again. He looks way more confident on offense than he did in the past series of games, which is probably one of the only real mega bright spots from this last period of games.
Yeah, him and Jalen for me.
Him and Jalen's defense for sure. Then it was off to play the Utah Jazz, and it was a 99-114 loss. This is another one of those. The Jazz are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had all their people when we played them before in Orlando. They were a little shorthanded, so it was not the same Jazz squad this time, and it showed. Then it was off to play the Phoenix Suns, 105-132 loss. Yo, let me just say it right now. I'm picking the Suns to win the NBA title. This team's nice.
Oh,
they're good. I love what they've done. And so far, from what I see, they're the best team. They're complete. They're solid off the bench. We have no business playing in a game with a team that is ready to win the NBA championship, and that showed right here. But so far, right now, if I had to pick today, I'd put money down on the Suns.
Okay, you can do that. You can do that when you move to Connecticut.
When I move to Connecticut, I'll be able to do it.
You can do that.
So. just a week away.
Yeah.
So then it was the Valentine's Day special, but you didn't love to see this. It was a 121-111 loss for the Magic. Nice. Franz Wagner led us in scoring with 26, and I saw a lot of things I liked in this game. The Nuggets outplayed the crap out of us in the first quarter, and the whole rest of the game, we just struggled to try to get back into this, and we did. We made them work. They wanted to set their players and have the rest of the night off, but no. We said, we're going to make you play this thing out all the way to the end. Gary Harris was balling, and I love to see that. That's the thing to me that, like, even though we may be in a tank scenario, I don't see that from the players on the court, and that makes me feel good because I don't want to see a half-ass group going out there and not giving a shit, and that's not what I saw. And that game, if you're going to watch any Magic loss this season, go ahead and take a look at that one, because that game was entertaining and it was fun to see them fight and claw to get back in that game. Plus, you get to see Nikola Jokic not carrying his groceries.
No, don't say that, man. The Serbians will come after us again, dude. That is still our highest viewed video. We just made one silly thumbnail about Pisha's joke about Nikola Jokic having no arm definition, looking like he doesn't even carry his own groceries. And the Serbians just went off on it. I think it's got like 3,500 views. Look at those pipes. One to know one. I don't have any arm definition either. Jokic. Yeah. It's all in good no
fun.
Slander. The guy's an MVP.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
So talented.
We don't want beef, Serbians. We don't want beef, Serbians.
I don't know if I've ever seen a taller, better playmaker than Nikola Jokic. All right. Last game of this was Wednesday, a 130-109 loss to the Hawks. This one hurt me after all the good that the Nuggets win did. I just felt like the Hawks are not as good as. I just felt like this game should have been closer, and it was really kind of a whitewash. And so when you look back at the Jazz, the Suns, the Hawks, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe these teams are better than us, but you'd like to see us fight like we did against the Nuggets and keep that game a little closer. But I feel like what I learned was I realized if a team is one of the top four in their conference, we're probably not going to beat them unless we have the best shooting night we've ever had. Other teams are shooting amazing against us, and there's not really much you can do about that except take the L. And that's what we've been doing, is taking the L's. But what I've learned is we've played a lot of tough opponents. We played a lot of road games, and a lot of that stuff is starting to wash away. I see the Rockets. I see a couple with the Pacers coming up. I see some Pelicans, and I see some other teams that are beatable. And I'm still feeling pretty good about my over on the 22.5 wins for the season. I still think it can be done, and I'm ready to see it happen going forward. If I learned any other thing, it would be if you could rewatch any set of games, even though we won 2 of these games. We don't win 2 games in between shows a lot. We won 2 games here. Watch the first few games and then go ahead and just skip the last ones.
There were so many. That's what was demoralizing about these 9 games. There was a bunch of blowouts, and there were even some games that ended with a final score that really wasn't as close as that. I mean, that was really disheartening. And the Hawks game, I mean, I don't think the Hawks are that much better than us. Trae Young
Hawks could not be stopped from
infuriates me. No,
insane. I think they were 75% at halftime or something.
And it got me to thinking, Peach. It got me to thinking. I feel like teams shoot really well from three against us, and I was very correct. Teams do shoot really well against us, and we're the 28th worst team right now in defending the three. Our opponents shoot they shoot one of the best percentages from three against us. So, the Hawks were shooting the lights out, but there is, I learned that our defense needs some work, especially guarding the perimeter, because too many teams are just looking like all-star caliber against us.
Now, you have given me an idea for a future segment for this show where I break down why that's happening, because I see it happening on the court, and we'll see if I can get on the court and point these things out. Yeah.
Well, we were recently on the court, Peach, when we went to Lakeland Magic versus Westchester Knicks game recently. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, check out this recap right now. Here we go. Let's go, Lakeland. Yeah.
We're here courtside for the pregame check-in. Check-in. We forgot to mention in the first quarter that I got under the skin of a Knicks player and was asked by the referee not to provoke him. So I have not. Injuries are a problem. Foul trouble is becoming a problem.
We got a little bit of Timma time, though.
We got the Timma
time. I got the wig for Timma time. Hit 2 threes and, starting to heat up. So hopefully we'll get some more Timma time in the second half.
Go Magic.
For those of you who are listening, we'll get right into our analysis. The Westchester Knicks are playing in Bridgeport, Connecticut this year at the arena in my home city and your home city momentarily. And there's something going on with their arena. I guess they're doing some repairs and whatnot. So I've been able to get to 5 or 6 games. Unfortunately, the Lakeland Magic only played 1 game here in Bridgeport. But for that 1 game, we made a dedication to sit courtside. It's the only type of game I could afford, and professional basketball game I can actually afford to sit courtside at. And, it was a blast. Nadja came through, and it was great to see a professional game just at that level. You really appreciate the speed and the energy and the strength that these young men are displaying in these games. Well, young men, Giannis Timo was out there too. So mostly young men that are, fighting for a spot. They're fighting for their careers, really. It's not a glamorous life for most of these guys. They're making, 50, 60, 70K for the most part. This year was great for G Leaguers because so many guys got called up for 10-day contracts. And even if you're kind of a new guy in the G League, I think Hassani Gravat's 10 days were like $50K for those 10 days, and he had a few of those. So this year was great for G Leaguers, but generally it's a slog. But it was just fantastic being there. It was really nice that the players interacted with us, gave Devin Canaday a shout out for, his recent engagement. He was super kind about that, chatted with us for a little bit about it. Hassani Gravett, though, was, I think, by far the kindest and most engaging dude around. He came over without any asking. He just came over and greeted us right away. He made a sick soccer pass that went for a 3, and we're like, oh yeah. And he talked to us about how soccer was his first sport and one of his first loves. And I did not know that about him. And then, unfortunately he went out early, which was the biggest bummer for me. We didn't get to see Devin Kennedy because he had played the night before. The guys were going to Egypt the next day. So we didn't see Devin play, which stunk. But we did see Hassani, but I think towards the second quarter, he went down hard. I mean, the guy plays with reckless abandon. He was going hard to the hoop, and he got kind of clipped and came down on his back, tried to play through it, but then they pulled the plug on him. So we didn't get to see him in the second half. We had a little bit of Tima time for a brief moment there at the end of the second quarter. And I put on the wig, as you see in the video, but not too much to be excited for. Jeff Doughton tried his best to bring us back, but the Westchester Knicks kind of put it on us. We were definitely depleted. I think we had one guy on the bench. They had two more teams. Game, but it was great to hang out with you, Peach. What were your thoughts about the game?
Yeah, this was definitely one of those situations where it was more like about the environment and taking the game in for us than the actual game itself.
The environment, you mean the raucous crowd that was there?
Oh my God. You, me, and Nadra made up easily 35 to 40% of the crowd. I mean, that's not even a joke, folks. That's probably a true fact. Like, there was nobody in this arena. It's got to be a little weird for those players. They're playing basically in an empty arena, which kind of hurt it a little bit for me, because I like to jaw and like say funny things and talk to the players, and we'll get to that in a second.
Please do.
You could legit address everybody individually, and it would only take you like 30 seconds. So like people knew who you were. Like, you couldn't hide amongst the crowd. Also, because my feet can pretty much reach out from my seat and touch the court. So like I liked, being able to, while the guys were warming up, balls were bouncing back to like us. And like, I had 4 assists. I had 4 rebounds and 1 assist.
That's a good stat line.
Which is a pretty good stat line for a guy just sitting courtside. But I thought that it was fun to, like you say, interact with players. Sonny giving us the fist bumps and stuff like that. I think they were just psyched to see somebody giving a shit about the Lakeland Magic in Bridgeport, Connecticut. They're a team that probably wasn't really looking a lot at this game because they had played the night before. Now you got to come up to Bridgeport, play there. Then you got to fly out to Egypt. So it was like, they're just here because they contractually are obligated to be here. And, I think we were kind of a fun spot in it. The coolest part for me was probably interacting when there was a foul called on a Knicks player. He kind of body checked one of our guys, and then it was complaining about the foul call to the referee, who's a very fine looking young lady, but must I say, and he said to her, he's like, "What'd I do?" And she goes, "Well, you can't body check him." And I was like, "Yeah, this isn't hockey." And he goes, "Shut up." He looked right at me.
Yeah.
and goes, "Shut up. That's why you're over there." And I'm just like, I had so much more to say because I'm over there because I'm 42, bro, and I can't play. but also,
I was worried for your life for a moment, and my life sitting next to you.
Then the referee said, "Yeah, don't talk to him anymore. Don't get him going." And from that point on, I felt like I kind of had to be quiet because I didn't want to disrespect the referee asking me. But I would have liked to have been able to jaw a little bit more. I keep it clean. I just like to make jokes and have fun.
You're
but
respectable,
I didn't want to get kicked out of our courtside seats in the first quarter. So I'm like, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna take a different stance. Then during the second quarter, some lovely ladies came and sat like a seat away from me. And then at halftime, when he came out to warm up, he starts walking over towards me, and I was like, "Uh-oh, he's pissed."
Yeah, this is about to go down.
and then he like turns to the girls and goes, "Couldn't show up on time, huh?" And she goes, "Oh, we were late because of traffic." And I was just like, so many emotions, because I'm like, okay, cool. He doesn't want to mess with me, which is great. But then I was like, oh, there's absolutely no traffic. This is a bold-faced lie from her. There's 25 people in here. And then I realized why he may have been extra mad, because he looked over in our direction and didn't see his girl sitting there like he had thought.
Yeah.
So, I kind of
you were just getting some of his frustration boiling up. It wasn't you, Peach. It wasn't you.
And we made nice as I rebounded a few balls for him. And a matter of fact, he scored the bucket I had the assist on. So it's all fun and games. But it was good. It was good to sit courtside and just see some of these guys, that we've seen playing with the Magic and playing with Lakeland, and Devin Kennedy doing the dance to the Jeopardy theme was fantastic late in the game. Just a great all around experience. If you get a chance to go out and see the Lakeland Magic, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Go check it out.
It's a good time. the Giannis Tima talk, because I know a lot of people listen to the pod may be interested in that, as he was kind of a sensation in summer league. We kind of thought maybe there was a backroom handshake that he would come over and maybe he's going to get that extra spot on the end of the bench on the Magic roster. I don't know. I hope that doesn't come to fruition, or he's getting some better shape, because he definitely looked a footstep slow and a little short on his shot. So we'll see if the Giannis Tima time comes back after the All-Star
I think
break.
they're playing the back-to-back and the flight and all that stuff. And I think he's got to reacclimate himself to that kind of schedule. And, I think that will end up being one of his worst games. I think if you look back at it, hopefully for him.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I like your optimistic slant on it. I'm bummed that the Westchester Knicks won't be playing again next year in Bridgeport, so that we won't get that, experience again. But maybe we can take a little trip down to Westchester. It's not that far away, and we'll sit courtside again for the next Lakeland Magic Westchester.
They're playing
Knicks
the Maine
showdown.
Celtics coming up. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Go get some lobster.
Bit of a trek.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trek. Yeah, I don't know. If you're gonna have to fill in someone else for that. And speaking of filling in, great transition by me, if I do add. Let's play a little fill in the blank. I'm a pro.
These transitions are money today.
Yeah.
This must be the cast considerations that they were talking about.
Let's play a little fill in the blank, a little all-star themed fill in the blank. But before we get into the all-star chatter, I must put forward this statement, because I'm a little red hot, even more so than normally, because I'm
fill
a red
in this blank
man.
first, by the way. Go right. Go.
You want me to go into it? Okay.
I want you to go. Go.
I feel blank about J Redick's take on Orlando Magic fans. I feel that bastard should shut his mouth about Orlando Magic fans. I jest. I was infuriated. I was peeved. Just hearing the soundbite. I think it's taken a little out of context. I haven't listened to the whole show. I think he was talking about players being held accountable by fans, because that's what he mentions at the beginning of the soundbite. To your point, he says about, fans holding players accountable. I'm paraphrasing here. It's not quoted. I've played in some tough places like Philly, where I've been booed, and I've played in places where fan bases were kind of apathetic. I'm not talking about the Orlando Magic. I am. And everyone got a laugh. Oh, Orlando Magic. Right. It was interesting because some people reached out to him on Twitter, and he actually did respond to a fan and said, "Oh, I was just kind of playing to the crowd, making a joke." And man, I'm a teacher. I know. I play with the crowd every day. I know what it means to work the stage. All right. You got to ham it up a little bit, but no one likes to be the butt of a joke, JJ. And how many millions of dollars did you make there, buddy? I mean, I'm not that type of guy that's saying, "Oh, just play, just stop talking." No, have your stage, but don't expect me not to get mad about it when you insult, my fandom. And I know it's generally, he's talking about the general Orlando Magic fan base, but we're diehard, man. We take it personally. We watch every single game, and if I was in Orlando, I'd be at as many games as I can, but I can't, JJ. I can't. And there's truth. I think what hurts me most, Peach, maybe cue some sad music right now. What hurts me most, Peach, is that it's true. Right. It's tough. It's tough. Right. We did not choose this. We were born into this. Well, you chose it. You don't have that excuse, but I do. And I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I'm going to be until the day I die. And it's true. Our fan base waxes and wanes. Orlando's not a big city. It's not a huge destination. It's a big.
Well, it is, but
but it's a big destination. Not. It's not. A lot of residents move there. It's kind of a retirement vibe. So, we went to the Lakers game. There was more Lakers fans than Magic fans there. That's just kind of been the reality, and it sucks when, as a fan, to go and see that in your home arena. And so it just felt like salt in the wound from a player that you thought was going to be on your side. And I know he's getting the joke and all that, but why is the only way that we can hold fans accountable by booing them? Why can't we be gentlemen and gentle ladies and scholars? Maybe we're just a very fine-tuned and refined audience. So in the spirit of this, if JJ is telling us in order to be a better fan base, we need to boo more. What if we did a segment on the show that was like JJ's insults, and we just like made fun of some of our players, or like, just ripped on them? I guess that's what JJ wants. He just wants to be a more negative fan. So,
well, you ripped JJ on Obama pretty hard last show.
Well,
so.
Yeah, I had a premonition that's what JJ would want. So I started early, Pish. That's okay. What happened. But I'll throw it to you. I'll get off my soapbox and my hard feelings towards JJ. Never liked him anyways. Ooh, I feel blank about JJ Redick's take on Orlando Magic fans, Pish.
This guy he did more than just fill in that blank. You stuffed it. You stuffed it home. I appreciate your passion and I get your take completely, but I feel fine about JJ Redick's take on Orlando Magic fans. I feel like it made sense when you said it's true. That kind of hit home a lot for me. Again, it's a little tough for us to be a real barometer on that because we only see what we see on Instagram and on social media. And we were there for like a week, so we got to see it a little firsthand, but we're not really there enough to see it. But when you look into the stands and you see the lack of people or the fans of the other team, that's a problem that Florida has all over the place. It's a big problem for the Tampa Bay Rays. They can't get people to be a fan of their team because everyone moves from the north, they move south, and they stay with their teams. So no one embraces the local team unless they get good, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or like, you know what I mean? Or like when the Heat are rolling. So when the Magic were rolling, man, I've been to those buildings, not this building, but the old building, when it was jammed with Magic fans and there weren't any fans of the other team. And because they were winning and they were playing well and things were going well. The Magic haven't been doing well for a long time. They don't have that star player that you want to hang your hat on, the MVP candidate or even an all-star. So I see why they're a little apathetic about it. There needs to be that spirit in Orlando, that magic in our town, that heartbeat pounding in the street. It needs to come back. Yes. And I think that right now we're building that. And it will come back, but I understand why it's a little apathetic, but I also appreciate your point that I like when a fan's base doesn't necessarily boo every player for sucking all the time. Because guess what? Like, that guy's going to suit up next game too. And if he has a great game, you're going to cheer him. So let's just, be a little measured about it. But he's played in places like Philly that demand you to play harder. And some guys like that. Some guys want them to be booed. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm shamed, I'm like, well, I'm going to prove them wrong next time, So if the fans are just sitting there going, then it doesn't maybe motivate you as much to push yourself to get to that next level. And I think maybe, even though I know he was making a joke. I've done tons of stand-up comedy and lots of comedy. No, so I understand he's making a joke, and I don't think he's trying to be too mean-spirited with it. He's just kind of telling something that's based on truth. And as we all know, the best jokes have just a bit of truth in them. And this one, he didn't make this up out of nowhere. It comes from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't even know that his point is necessarily right. He feels that way, and that's cool. But you can look around the league right now at a lot of examples where players coming up now, they're not cut from the same cloth. Like, they take stuff more personally nowadays. And look at Julius Randle in New York. He was playing bad, and the Madison Square Garden let him know it, and he's gone completely off the deep end. Like, his mental health, he's just gone. Like, he's not really showing up like he used to. He wants out of there. Now all of a sudden, like, the Knicks are in complete tumult. That team's upside down. Look at Ben Simmons. I mean, Sixers fans, granted, they, for good reason, piled on him last year after the playoffs after he kind of disappeared. But wouldn't it have been nicer to have a more supportive fan base that wasn't perhaps so negative? Maybe Ben Simmons would still be there. And I mean, I'm sure Sixers fans don't care to see him go, but they kind of got fleeced in that trade. Like, they had to give up picks and a couple good guys. Like, Seth Curry's balling out now. Like, they're not in a good spot after that. So, I understand where he's coming from, but I don't know if that really works with players. I think our positivity, I think the Orlando Magic fan base trying to keep it more positive, trying to point out the good. We have nothing else either, JJ. Like, what the hell do you want us to do? If we just pointed out the negative, it'd be a long last decade. Like, come on, bro. We need something here. Yeah. All right. You done with that? You got more, Pish?
I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
All right.
I was way more peaceful about it than you were. So that's why I'm glad you led and closed on that one.
Okay.
An old man, his porch, and some words of wisdom.
You kids, you don't remember back in the day, all the tall players, they would go down low. They'd put their back to the basket. They'd put their hand up, and the guard would pass on the ball. And then they would post up, and they would spin, and they would take hook shots, or they would get to the foul line. Tall players played a post-up game. Nowadays, they're all outside shooting a 3-ball and relying on the long ball. That's not the way it should be. Makes me so angry I have to take a long pause to think about it. Tall people are meant to play in the paint. Go down there, put your back to the basket, and develop a post-up game. Maybe hit a fadeaway jump shot like Hakeem Olajuwon. Take advantage of your size. Play inside.
Let's now get into some all-star talk, all right? Tonight, after we film, I'll be cozying up and watching this Rising Stars tournament. So the fill-in-the-blank I'm presenting to you now, Peesh, is the concept of the Rising Stars tournament is blank.
Not going to get too wordsy on you here. Just going to call it excellent. I like it. I like the playing to a certain score. I think it's a fun way to mix it up. Any way you can change something that was kind of stale to give it a little more fresh. I don't know if I've ever watched this game before in my life, but I really planning on watching it tonight. I never was that interested in it before, but I think because of our link to the Magic and having some of our best players in it and wanting to see them showcase it on a national stage, that's interested me. But I also like the format. I think it's a great format, dude. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think that it's innovative, maybe creative. Yeah, exactly. Both words I would use to fill in this blank. I also haven't been pretty disinterested in this game in the past. They tried like the world versus the USA. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not really a big nationalism guy, so I don't really care about that too much. So I think that, and for those of you, I mean, you're going to see this pod after the games have already gone on. So you'll hopefully have figured it out by then. But the idea of the first two games, they're playing to a point score. They're playing 250, which is essentially like a half of basketball. But if I understand the concept correctly, it's going to be untimed. It's just like first 250, like you're playing on the street, like first to 21. You're playing 21, on the courts out on the blacktop. So I like that. I think it might bring a little bit more competitiveness to it, because while, guys want to have fun at the All-Star break, and you see a lot of kind of the hamming up and the dunks and things in the early quarters, and then it tends to get more competitive at the end. I think this might get competitive earlier, because it's like if you're giving up a dunk, that's 1/25th of the way to the end of the game. And these guys do want to win. Like these guys are ultra competitive. That's why they're in the NBA. So I think it might actually make for a much spicier game. And the second game, the championship game, is only to 25. So every basket really matters there. And I think that might ramp up the intensity a little bit and make it some very interesting basketball. I'm really intrigued by some of the team dynamics here. And so I want to throw it to you, Peesh. Do you have a favorite team? If I gave you a bonus fill in the blank right here, the winner of the Rising Stars tournament is going to be blank. And we'll know by the time this airs, we'll have the answer. So who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm going with our boy Franz on Team Barry. I feel like they've got a good mix of guys of different heights and skills. So I like the way they line up. The only player I don't know a lot about is Dyson Daniels from the G League Ignite. But I like Mobley and Cunningham and Okoro and Sengun, even though I don't like actual Sengun. If as a player, he's good.
Sengun,
and Tate and Franz. I mean, I just feel like they've got a lot of scores, a lot of mature ball handlers are going to know what to do. And I just like that. But if I had a dark horse, it's got to be the team with their other Magic fans, but they're just too many guards. Yeah. They're just all guards. It's like they have all the best guards, Giddey and Anderson and Suggs and Maxey and Jalen Green. And it's like, they're just loaded with guards. They didn't think about anything on the inside, which is weird for James Worthy to have not grabbed a guy who could get him some rebounds on the inside. But I don't know, man. I think I'd go with Team Barry with they're plus 2,600.
260. Yeah. I put money on both, our Magic teams. Just not a lot, but with those odds, it was like tripling your money. So I put a little on both. And I hope one of them wins. If they do, then I'm covering myself and making a little extra clink on the end there. I'd have to agree, man. Team Barry, I think is where I'm going to go. Cade, Evan Mobley. I love Isaac Okoro and the defense he plays with Franz and his length. I mean, that's a really good defensive squad. I know you don't love Alperen Şengün, but I do. I think he's a great player. Jayshawn Tate is a great scorer. I think they have the best team. Now, if you would have asked me a little while ago, I would have gone with Team Peyton because LaMelo Ball, Scotty Barnes, Ayo Dosunmu, who's playing great, Chris Duarte, Davion Mitchell, but a bunch of those guys have gone out now. Like LaMelo Ball is now in the All-Star game, so I don't think he's playing anymore. Scotty Barnes, as I understand, is stuck in Toronto because they have snow, so he won't be there tonight. Chris Duarte's out. I don't know who's coming in for him. Like, it's just kind of a mishmash team, so I don't like their odds anymore. Team Isaiah, I think, is the one with the best odds to win. I think that's just because Anthony Edwards is a monster.
Well, they also have Desmond Bane and Sadiq Bey. I feel like, they're a great team as well. I could see really any of those three teams. I think Team Peyton is the one that I feel like is a little going to be shorthanded, perhaps. But I think they might find a way to even that up somehow. I think they'll find a way. I think they already got Kuminga to replace Duarte. But I think they'll be okay. But if I had to go with anybody, I'll go with Team Barry, and I'm riding with Team Franz.
Yeah, Team Franz, baby, let's go.
Oh, are you a fan of Franz? I didn't see. Did you guys work that out?
That's a deep cut, man. She fucking left me, dude. Don't bring that up, man. Yeah. And I'm still doing the show. That's dedication, people. That's how much I love you.
Good.
The next one we have is into the future. We don't have any guys in the game this weekend, in the All-Star game. So, Peesh, my query to you is the next Orlando Magic player to make the All-Star game will be blank.
I think that I'm about to shock you, and I'm not doing this for shock value. I have a reason for it. I'm going with Wendell Carter Jr. I feel like when it comes to selecting All-Stars, the way they do it now is they go front court and they go back court.
Right.
And I feel like there is a lot of great backcourt players in the Eastern Conference. And I feel like the front court is easier to crack. I think about some of the years Vooch cracked the lineup and thought, I can make the case that he's one of the best front court players. And I think Wendell's going to get there too, because he's really playing well. He's averaging a double-double. I think it's going to continue. I think his confidence is going to grow, and he's going to start to score more. Is he going to be an MVP candidate? I'm not saying that. I'm saying he can make the All-Star game in the front court within the next year or two.
I like it.
Who would you put there first?
I like it after our social
I'm not
media
saying he's our
fest.
most talented player. I'm just saying because of the way things shake out.
Yeah. No, your point is well taken. There are a lot of talented guards in the East. A lot of good big men too, but I'm also going to go with a front court guy, and I might just be wishing on a prayer right now. I'm going to go with Jonathan Isaac.
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to go with Jonathan Isaac.
Whoa.
I mean, this guy, when he was playing, was in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, averaging 2.3 blocks a couple years ago when he went down in those 34 games that he played. That would put him like in second or third, I think third place right now in the league in blocks per game. And just, his IQ was there. He's a legit rim protector. He was shooting like 51% effective field goal percentage. A lot of those are inside, but he was taking more outside threes. So he's going to see increased usage as he comes back. And he's obviously a key pillar of Weltman and Hammond's plan going forward. Maybe I'm just, hoping and just being an optimist and just praying that he will come back and still be that guy. Because I think if he does, he is a supreme talent and is our best shot to make the All-Star game. I mean, this guy, he stuffed Joel Embiid with Joel Embiid has a sprinting, running start, and J.I. meets him at the rim and blocks him out. I mean, that's a unique talent. Yeah.
I'm blown away. I'm not saying you're wrong on that, but to me, I thought, well, I'm going to go with Wendell here because the obvious answer is the man you wrote in your book. I feel like it should be Franz Wagner, and I think he could make it in a year or two as well. Also, using the front court excuse, if you want to say that he gets in for that, Man, I'm really shocked that you went with Ji, a player who's currently not playing for us. You think he could make it sooner?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Franz. Franz, I'm not worthy. I'm sorry. I love you. It says it in my journal, bro. Yeah,
I believe everything you read, kids.
I think Franz is just. The question is the next Orlando Magic player. So I'm not discounting that Franz will make an All-Star game. He will. Jalen will. Cole will. We're gonna have the whole All-Star team. It's just gonna be the Orlando Magic team. There's just gonna be all of us on there. Championship 2024. Here we go.
Okay. He overcorrected. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I got to make up for it. So in the post-game interviews from the Hawks game that we won't talk about, both Jalen and Cole were asked by, I'm not sure who it was, I apologize, which reporter, asked them both the same question about whose brain they're looking forward to picking at the All-Star game, who they're looking to learn from. You know, it's the 75th anniversary. There's going to be all the older heads there and, you know, all the guys that are currently in the All-Star game. So I like Cole kind of joked around a little bit. He's like, well, I'm not really sure how much contact I'm going to be having with everybody, which could be legitimate. He's like, maybe some of the coaches. And then he just started talking about, oh, it's going to be Franz. Like, I'm going to pick Franz's brain. But Jalen's answer, I think, was spot on. He said he wanted to talk to Gary Payton. And I was just, my face lit up when I heard him say that, because I've been talking about Jalen in comparing him to a lot like player comp to Jrue Holiday, but that's probably even a better player comp, Gary Payton. I mean, if that is going to be the ceiling for Jalen Suggs, that would be unbelievable. And they play very similarly. So I don't think there's a better match for that. That just seems perfect. And I hope that he's able to get in contact with him. And I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that. But I'm gonna present this to you, Peach. You go first. Blank is the player that I'd like our guys to learn from at the All-Star break. Who are you hoping our guys come in contact with?
Well, I mean, for me, the first person that popped into my head was Dirk Nowitzki. I'd like to see him and Franz get together. They're both German. They could both become, Franz could become the second best player from Germany. And so why shouldn't they be talking? I feel like they have similar games. I want to see him learn a little bit of that stuff from Dirk. It seems like a slam dunk, if you will.
That one-legged fall away. We just see Franz come back next year and shoot only like turn around one-legged fadeaway.
Also,
jumpers.
Dirk won a title, which is fantastic, and I love Dirk. By the way, I have a Dirk jersey. He was he's the first German basketball player I had as a jersey
of the many German basketball player jerseys that you have. You mean?
Yes, I have 3. But I just feel like he really worked hard all his career, did things the right way. Seems like a guy that everybody liked all the way around. And, he got rewarded with his championship, and he has that like stick with it kind of vibe, like do your thing, play, be a good player, do what you do, and good things will happen. People will see that. They'll want to come play with you. I just feel like there's a lot of wisdom to get from Dirk Nowitzki. I'm not sure he even needs to get that at the All-Star break, because maybe just their German connection alone already has them talking. But that's a player I'd really like to see rub off on Franz. What about you?
I mean, to your point, he did stay with the same franchise that drafted him too. So that's
another great point.
That's big. Tell him all about that, Dirk. Tell him all about that experience and how fulfilling that was to stay with that one franchise your whole career. I chose to find a match for our boy Cole Anthony. And he's of course lucky enough to have, father, mentor, ex-NBA player. So he's getting the wisdom all the time. He's got a clear access to it. And I was trying to think, who are some of the guards that are going to be there for the 75th? I thought at first, like Isaiah Thomas, like great off the dribble, amazing player. But then I was like, wait, nobody likes Isaiah Thomas. He alienated all his like friends. Him and Magic had a big falling out. None of the NBA players liked him. I don't want that for Cole.
Oh, no. He ruined the Knicks.
Don't talk to him, Cole. Never mind. No, don't talk to him. So then next I was like, okay, well, another like small guard, UConn guy, Ray Allen. Great shooter. Cole could use that mentorship of the shot. And then I was like, oh crap. He left 2 teams and he left the Celtics to go win a chip. No. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him, Cole. Don't listen to that guy. Don't listen to him at all. You don't want to talk to him. And I finally landed on the Canadian bacon, Steve Nash.
Yes.
Who will be there, 4-time assist leader, 5-time assist championship, or I'm sorry, he's 4th all time in assists, 5-time assist champion, 2-time MVP, never won the chip, but just was a guy that could do so much damage off of what has now become the entirety of the modern NBA, the pick and roll, which he and D'Antoni and Stoudemire really just kind of made magnificent and really perfected. So I think there's no better player. If Cole can get some FaceTime, bend the ear of Steve Nash, get some tips and tricks about how to facilitate this offense, be an even better scorer and passer, no better guy than Steve Nash.
Can't argue with that one. Normally, you wouldn't think we need to turn to a Canadian to get some basketball advice, aside from how to play the game from the great Dr. James Naismith, who invented it. But Steve Nash is a great choice because he was a great player. He did things the right way. Another guy everybody liked. And yeah, you can't really hate on his game too much at all. It would be great if he could get some of those skills over to Cole Anthony. So go and soak that knowledge up, boys. Hit up all these guys.
Yes. Yeah. And now is one of my favorite segments, Peach, because I get to just sit back and soak up some more knowledge from that treasure trove of yours that I see behind you, where we're going into Magic the Card Gathering, ladies and Magic the Card Gathering, ladies and gentlemen, where Peach dives into his treasure trove as he's just done and pulls out some gems for us, some NBA Orlando Magic cards that tell some stories about our favorite franchise, the Orlando Magic. So what have you chosen for us today, Peach?
Well, doing a little bit different this today. I'm not going with the categories.
Really?
I'm thinking about trying to find a way to switch this thing up. I think I want to see you do one at some point.
All right.
And we are really starting to get into the card game. And
yes,
I have selected a number of cards today. I want to tell you a little bit about the origin of where I got these cards, and that's kind of what makes them fun. So First off, let's go ahead and start with this Zaza Pachulia. Oh, you knew you love it. It's got some jersey on there. It's got the auto, and it's numbered.
Nice autograph.
And it's numbered 99 of 1,999 right there in the middle. So that's a fun one. And I picked this one up when we were in Orlando.
I remember
just most recently. Just one of those kind of cards I saw and was like, I gotta buy this card. Like, it's just fun. I kind of forgot that. I mean, I knew he was been on the Magic, but like, I didn't know he was on the Magic in an era where they were doing this to cards. So I was like, this is a must-have for me because it's just obscure and weird. And honestly, didn't like Zaza as a player as he went on throughout his career, but I just think it's a cool card. I don't know. Sometimes that's enough.
It is, and it was pretty serendipitous because when we got down there, as we were driving around, we were putting on some stuff, and I think the most recent Pod Squad was with Zaza Pachulia. So we'd listened to Zaza talk about his experience, being drafted by the Magic, playing early with the Magic. And then we walk into that card shop and I see you pull that puppy out and I'm like, oh yeah, he's keeping that one.
And if I didn't, you probably would have it in your collection.
I would have been all over it. Yeah.
Next up, I've got this big, I got to, for scale, bring the Zaza back. This is a regular size card. This is a large, giant Penny Hardaway card that I got when I was down there. I believe in his rookie season. Look at him on the back, rocking the chain over the shirt. Oh, this is so 90s. It hurts right there. Woo, man. But I remember picking up this card at a gas station when I was in Orlando as a kid. They had them just on the counter, and I asked, like, what are these for? And he's like, oh, you can just take them. And I just took it. And it was like, this is the best thing. Like, back in these days, they didn't just hand out free stuff like this. This is a like regular blown up upper deck card of Penny Hardaway. It's like a rookie. So I don't know. I just think that's a fun one. You rarely get to display it properly. It doesn't fit in any top loaders.
Yeah. What do you do with that holders. Thing? Yeah.
I put it on that. When you open up those little, the binders, there's a little pocket on the inside. It's lived there for years. And we'll continue to.
Yeah. That's the experience we don't get as remote Magic fans. Those little kind of Magic things that happen around. I saw someone post today, TJ Maxx. There was like a Cole Anthony signed jersey in TJ Maxx. Like, we don't get that We don't get that.
Saw that. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Next up, I've got this Golden Beauty.
Ooh.
And this one I picked up when we were also in Orlando, but I picked it up for a reason, not just because it's the gold version, but because I remember having the non-gold version of this card and busting it open in a pack and really loving it. And it got damaged by my dog. And I have not been able to find a second one since. So the minute I saw this one, especially in gold, I had to pick it up because you got Brian Shaw, Ronnie Cycles on there, and Dennis Scott. And this is just a great card. But yeah,
is that the whole premise of the card there? It's the Triple S. It's like it's the Triple S, the Magic and their Triple S machine.
Yeah, everybody, Ronnie Cycles was great for the Heat for a long time.
Ronnie. Why are you saying isn't it Ronnie? Why are you saying Ronnie?
Ronnie, is it? I don't know. Well, because back in the 90s, there was a song by Ice Cube called What It's Like Having a Ronnie. And I think that's why I made that 90s association, which was probably incorrect. Sorry,
Ronnie.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch a lot of Magic games back then either, so I never got to hear pronunciations. That is something that happens to me in all sports all the time, where I see the name in the paper or on the computer, but I never hear it said and realize, oh man, I've been calling that guy the wrong name for a long time. For example, Gene Segura, who is a shortstop, I think he's with the Phillies now. I was calling him Jean. G-E-A-N.
That French Quebecois coming out.
Jean is Jean to me. A man's name is not Gene. I don't know. These things happen. But anyway, next up, I've got this Evan Fournier. It's a National Treasures. It's number 21 of 39. I am a geek for numbered cards. The fact that there are only 38 other of this card, and I have one of them, it pleases me so greatly. This bad boy is super thick too. I don't know if you can see that difference there. Let me pull back one of these. Even a regular card.
Does that have jersey in it or something?
No, it does not. Which is
what
weird.
is in there? What are they stuffing in there? I don't know. Just the national pride. Goodness. National pride is in there.
Yeah, man. We know what, and maybe they took a couple other cards and smashed them together, and that's why there's only 39. Because even 39, why would you number a card to 39? There's no significance there. It's like it's not the player's number or anything. I don't know, but it's just a funky, weird card, and I love that I have it. Next up, I'm hitting you with two more twofers here at the end. These are ones that we busted open in packs. I've got the Jalen Suggs and the Franz Wagner. This leads me into we've recently started to really get into cards. I kind of rubbed off on you and got you going on this. We want to collect a lot of Magic players.
Phrasing.
And we definitely did a box opening where we got these cards. You got some as well, and we're going to continue to do that kind of stuff. So if you're into sports cards and you like the Magic, there's no better place to be than the Court Cousins YouTube channel, because we're going to be opening packs and digging and searching for Magic players and gems just like these.
Yeah, that is a good story behind that. And it is going to start I think we already have the 21-22 Hoops hobby box on its way, and the Donruss are coming out soon. So look out for that. We'll be opening those packs and then giving away and selling some cards that we don't want to other fans. So keep an eye out.
I definitely already kind of spoiled some stuff for myself by watching other people's videos opening them, because I just wanted to know what's in there. I need to know what I'm looking for.
I can't wait, dude. I'm excited too.
All right. Lastly, we've had a lot of luck on this show of speaking things into existence. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some cards of Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz. And this is a variant here, this Markelle Fultz, and this is a rookie card here for Jonathan Isaac. And it's just good to see him not only we've talked about him a lot on our show, but you haven't seen him. So here they are. And maybe they'll turn up on the court next. And maybe they'll start NBA hooping. Huh?
Yeah, I like it. Speak it into existence, baby. Thanks, everyone, for spending the time with us, letting us speak this show into existence. Remember, subscribe, and comment on this with your favorite Orlando Magic jersey of all time, and you'll be entered to win that fresh, classic pinstripe Penny Hardaway. It's been a good one. Looking forward to seeing everyone. Come get it. Looking forward to seeing you all on the other side of the All-Star break, hopefully with Markelle and J.I. Peace.
Thanks for coming.